When it comes to martial arts movies, it can be hard to blend fighting with comedy. Someone we've talked a lot about in this series, Jackie Chan, is widely considered the master at this, but other martial arts movie stars of the 70s, 80s, and 90s aren't exactly known primarily for their humor, like Bruce Lee, Claude Van Damme, and Steven Seagal. Actually, Van Damme can be pretty funny. At the same time, the 80s demonstrated an appetite for the martial arts-centered family film. The Karate Kid trilogy had been a huge hit and inspired a million karate lessons from coast to coast, before most kids got lazy and quit. My parents went the cheaper way and just bought me Street Fighter. Then, in 1993, we were blessed with the amazingly titled Surf Ninjas. It was a martial arts family film and a comedy, and unlike a film like The Karate Kid that took an actor and added martial arts as a secondary skill, Surf Ninjas featured Ernie Reyes Jr., someone who, more like Jackie Chan, had the martial arts chops first and came to acting second.
Listen, spirit or no spirit, if you swing that thing at me one more time, I'm gonna kick your butt.
Plus, Reyes Jr. had already anchored a TV martial arts comedy, Sidekicks, which shouldn't be confused with the martial arts family drama Sidekicks starring Chuck Norris, and came out in 1992 and was basically the answer to that timeless question, what if you made the Karate Kid, but instead the kid was also trained by an illusion of Chuck Norris? Huh?
I'll race you to the top.
I can't.
Who the hell is he talking to?
I love that movie. Where was I? Oh, Surf Ninjas. The movie came out, but it wasn't a big hit, and unfortunately for a lot of people, it's been unfairly forgotten. But I will be damned if this movie wasn't a fun-ass hell adventure for the kids who saw it in theaters, or just as likely, on a well-loved VHS tape. So get your surf wax,
And I have a lot of wax.
because today, we're taking you back to the 90s and getting your ass in those waves. Here's everything you didn't know about Surf Ninjas. Surf Ninjas premiered on August 20th, 1993. It tells the story of two brothers who love surfing in all its forms.
Moto surf!
Wait, what does this remind me of? Yes, okay, the OG of vehicle surfing.
We'll all be planning out a route we're gonna take real soon.
Oh, and the brothers also hate homework.
Guys, homework.
It's a crazy coincidence, because when I was a kid, I hated homework too.
Yeah.
Their peaceful Southern California lives are shattered when they discover they're the heirs to a small Asian country's throne.
Your Highnesses.
Therefore, evil ninjas are hunting them, led by a cyborg dictator who is determined to kill them.
Those boys die tonight.
And, you know, hijinks, baby.
By the way, did you call earlier to hang up? Damn.
Information about the budget for the film is a bit scarce, but it was produced by New Line Cinema, which at the time was known more for modestly budgeted horror movies than big budget trips to Mordor. New Line was only 3 years removed from the success of the OG Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles movie. A surprise smash hit that featured a connection to Reyes Jr. that we'll explore more as we go along, and that likely explains how Surf Ninjas got set up at the company. Surf Ninjas grossed $5 million over its entire movie theater run, which is almost certainly less than it cost given it had explosions, chases, and lots of stunt work. And stunt work don't come cheap. The film was absolutely panned by critics and currently sits at an 11% on Rotten Tomatoes, to which I say that. Look here, does Rotten Tomatoes take reviews from 27 years later into their calculation of a film score? Because I'm giving it 2 shaka thumbs up, you know, because surfing? We can't talk about a movie from 1993 with the word ninjas in the title without talking about the bizarre and awesome flash in the pan that was the 90s ninja craze. Seriously, we were all about ninjas back then. There was Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, of course, but also there were the Three Ninjas movies, Surf Ninjas, Beverly Hills Ninja, and this.
They're the world's greatest martial artists, competing for the ultimate prize.
Alright, not exactly ninjas per se, but I needed any excuse to show that. Y'all remember that show, right? It's not just me. Back to Surf Ninjas. Let's talk about the title for a second. Surf Ninjas. This sort of implies ninjas are going to be doing some surfing, right? Well, this is where we need to put on our overthinking hats. A ninja is usually defined by covert activity, you know, sneaking around, vanishing, being quick and deadly rather than big and loud. and they're usually dressed like this. And Surf Ninjas definitely has ninjas in it. Garbage trucks full, in fact. But none of those guys ever hop on a surfboard. In fact, the only one who gets in the water is this guy, and he tries to harpoon Johnny while he's surfing. Maybe the title should have been Surf Hating Ninjas. Then again, Zach shows off some definite ninja-like abilities like covert entries and sudden disappearances.
Hey, he disappeared again.
He's not dressed as a ninja, but he does surf once at the end of the movie. You know, when all the good guys go surfing. So if we count him, then the title, I guess, is valid, right?
That's shred!
Did we overthink this whole title thing for entertainment purposes? Just tell us yes in the comments, because you're definitely right.
Brothers don't surf.
Now you may remember that Adam's Sega Game Gear plays a big role in the movie.
Crown Prince Adam would become a true visionary.
And that's no accident. Sega was actually a co-financier on the film. They contributed money to the project, and in exchange, their product was woven into the story. Sega also produced a Surf Ninjas game for the Game Gear, which actually released before the movie, so kids could see the movie, then beg their parents for a Game Gear, and the Surf Ninjas game to go with it. Although, looking back at it, you should have definitely begged for like a year's supply of batteries, because the Game Gear could go through batteries quick.
Never been on this level before.
From a legal perspective, is it false advertising to imply a video game system allows you to see the future and can also be used as a weapon? Well, either way, it worked, because I still have mine. And spoiler alert, can't see the future, but this brick can definitely hurt somebody if you just toss it at their face. But at the end of the day, if you're watching Surf Ninjas, it's because you want to kick back and laugh your ass off at the things that were funny in 1993 and the things that have only gotten funnier as they've gotten more dated.
Kill them. Hold on for a second. I've got call waiting. Yes. Kill them.
Alright, first of all, you can't not love a movie that overall is not dubbed but has really, really obvious dubbing in the very first scene.
I think we're falling into a rut here. Every day it's breakfast, did you do your homework, fight.
Now, if that doesn't throw you off, Rob Schneider comes in and makes a disgusting, like, nasty ass omelet.
Beets?
Yo, who puts beets in an omelet? Gross.
Pimento?
What?
It's like a little tomato.
I also want to give a shout out to the camouflage outfits worn by the ninjas. Sure, if you want to blend in with the jungle or in the water, camouflage is great. But out in the streets of LA, it kind of makes you stand out even more than just dressing like a ninja. But you know what? Actually, I respect the boldness.
Boy, those uniforms really give them a chameleon-like ability to blend in with their surroundings.
And let's hear it for Mac, Johnny and Adam's dad. He's got a secret history as a former American sailor and an employee of the Patusan royal family. But I respect the fact that despite all this, he looks like a guy who's never even left the Bronx, or the West Bronx.
You're not always gonna get out of life's problems with this smooth stuff.
Oh, and look out, ninjas. Big old dudes with mustaches and Hawaiian shirts can up too. Also, we learned that skateboards make for really good shields in a fight. Surf Ninjas also reminds us that there are two kinds of movies. Movies where the hero learns how to fight over time through grueling work, and movies where the hero discovers they're just magically good at fighting in one scene. You know what? The second way actually saves a lot more time.
I love the part when I was like,
One of my all-time favorite comedy actors, Leslie Nielsen, plays evil dictator Emperor Chi, who is nefariously hilarious, but I will always remember the fact that even though he's rich and powerful, he still drives a Suzuki. But if you remember anything from Surf Ninjas, it's probably this. And then again, at the end, this. I mean, what do you even say about that? Is it the worst thing you've ever heard? The best? Both? Both. Yeah, I think both. Also, Patusan, the name of the fictional country in the film, is also the name that Ernie Reyes Jr.'s character in the show Sidekicks is from.
So where you from anyway? Vietnam or something? Pakistan.
But the name comes originally from Joseph Conrad's 1900 novel, Lord Jim. See? We can get literary here on EYDK. Come on. I read books. Sometimes. Surf Ninjas was filmed in Los Angeles, Hawaii, and Thailand. The LA scenes were filmed in LA, and Hawaii and Thailand doubled for Patusan. Though, I wouldn't be totally shocked if some of those surfing inserts got picked up in Hawaii too. Dan Gordon was originally slated to write and direct, but he was ousted from the directing chair and ended up credited as writer. He had a previous relationship with Reyes, having written and produced for Sidekicks. Purportedly, the original script for Surf Ninjas was more of an Indiana Jones type action-adventure film with surfing, and the comedy entered the equation in rewrites. Gordon also wrote the script for the Kevin Costner movie, Wyatt Earp. But, even more interestingly, according to Gordon, and this is a crazy story, he was the writer and director of an independent film called Potluck that was being financed by the Mafia as a money laundering scheme.
All I did was I laundered $500 million in drug money, okay?
When he discovered this, he fled to Israel, joined the army, attained the rank of captain, and didn't come back to the US to continue his film career for 10 years. So, don't see that from every writer mentioned on EYDK. Gordon also has a story by credit on 2019's Rambo Last Blood, which kind of makes sense. Neil Israel directed and also rewrote the script. He may not be the most well-known name in Hollywood, but he quietly worked on a ton of comedy films and shows as a writer, director, and producer. Israel co-wrote the script for an all-time favorite movie of mine, the original Police Academy.
God damn it, stop that!
And also co-wrote and directed the Tom Hanks comedy Bachelor Party.
I'm getting married.
Yeah, let's have a bachelor party with chicks and guns and fire trucks.
He was also married to Clueless writer and director Amy Heckerling, so that was actually a pretty talented couple going there. Arthur Albert and Victor Hammer did the cinematography. Hammer also shot Billy Madison.
Shampoo is better. I go on first and clean the hair.
Albert also shot 1997's Beverly Hills Ninja, so I guess he's the master of cinematography of ninja comedies. It's worth the reward.
I am Haru of the Takagura Dojo. Do not forget that.
David Katai did the music. He scored some pretty iconic comedies like A Night at the Roxbury, Clueless, and Harold and Kumar Go to White Castle. As for the cast, Ernie Reyes Jr. played Johnny.
I'm here. Everything's gonna be cool.
He did stunts in the original TMNT movie as Donatello and played Kino in TMNT 2, The Secret of the Ooze. He was also the star of Sidekicks, the TV show, like we mentioned, and did stunt work on Avatar and fought The Rock in The Rundown. That was a dope scene in that movie. Ernie Reyes Sr. played Zatch. He was a martial arts consultant and stunt choreographer on The Last Dragon, Red Sonja, and did stunt work on Street Fighter the movie. But it was awesome that Surf Ninjas allowed him to really show off his acting chops.
What if I don't die?
Nicholas Cowan played Adam.
I beat my best score. I love this game.
The character was his biggest role, and as he grew up, his acting career came to an end. Today, he's a graphic designer, which is dope too. The graphic designing is pretty cool. My wife does it. John Carlin played Mac.
Don't they ever provide you with clothing except for my boxer shorts?
He was a character actor for decades and is best known for playing Willie Loomis on the original Dark Shadows.
Holland's Jews are a legend by themselves, is what I heard.
Rob Schneider plays Iggy.
Seriously, if you don't want chives, I won't put them in.
He was 30 years old playing a high schooler, but you know what? He pulls it off.
I was hammered by the fact I found out I was adopted last night. You were adopted last night? Why didn't your dad just adopt you when you were a baby?
Schneider is of course a comedy character acting icon and occasionally leading man. I'm talking Deuce Bigelow.
I think there's been a mistake.
Did you say steak?
The Hot Chick.
It's me, Jessica.
The Animal.
How's it going? It's a nice looking tail you got there.
The Stapler.
Rob Schneider is a stapler.
I'm sorry. We had to. That's classic South Park. Schneider is also in almost anything involving Adam Sandler.
You can do it! You can do it all night long!
Leslie Nielsen, aka Lieutenant Frank Drebin, played Colonel Chi.
I want them dead.
He's one of the comedy greats from Airplane.
Surely you can't be serious. I am serious. And don't call me Shirley.
And The Naked Gun.
Cuban? No, Dutch Irish. My father was from Wales.
Honestly, my only complaint about Surf Ninjas is that Nielsen wasn't in it more. He is non-stop comedy gold.
Yes, kill them. Send more men to Los Angeles. Coach.
Kelly Hu plays Romay.
I know I talked a lot about marrying you and being queen and everything.
She was in X2 as Deathstrike and played China White on Arrow. 90s icon Tone Loc plays Lieutenant Spence.
I think some guys are probably leaning on your old man. They came in, they tore the place up, and he split.
He was in Ace Ventura.
This is not the time, Mace. If Pinehorn come down here and see me talking to you or your ass, I'm history.
He
got a big-ass peacock right here.
And Bebe's Kids.
Pee-wee, the OG.
Looking back at it, Tone Loc definitely had a moment where he was in everything in the 90s. Not to mention being best known as a rapper. Here comes that nostalgia ear bomb. In the category of, hey, I've seen that dude before, Philip Tan played Captain Ming. He's done stunt work on a ton of big budget movies like Inception and Pirates of the Caribbean, Dead Man's Chest. He was also a guerrilla suit performer in George of the Jungle. So gotta mention that, because that movie is a classic. Says me. At the end of the day, Surf Ninjas is a lot of things to a lot of people. Fun, oddball window back into the 90s to some, and a beloved childhood memory to others, or a completely random movie some old dude on the internet is ranting about. But also, it's worth remembering because it's a kind of movie that in certain ways doesn't really get made anymore. By that I mean a high concept, mid-budget, live-action family comedy that's an original story. Yeah, there are family comedies coming out now led by Pixar, who is making some of, if not the absolute best ones ever. But those are big movies. And most family comedies are now animated and based on existing properties. Just feels like the 90s had way more room for the kind of movie I'm getting nostalgic for. You know, family comedies like Home Alone, Mrs. Doubtfire, The Sandlot. Maybe Surf Ninjas isn't quite on those movies' levels, but it's definitely of an era with them, and that's definitely worth celebrating. What do you guys think? Do you miss 90s family comedies? Do surfing and ninjas go together like peanut butter and tuna fish? Or would you rather have golf samurais? Maybe that's not a bad idea. Nobody steal that. I'll sue. See y'all in the comments.
For now, my people, I'm out of here.
Thanks for watching. For more EYDK, make sure you click over here or touch. And for new episodes I drop every other week, make sure you touch or click over there.